Hey everyone, just wanted to make a quick video. This is for all my LinkedIn warriors out there struggling putting in those applications. It's kind of a tedious, time consuming project. Oftentimes it feels like looking for a job is a job in and of itself. And, I just thought I'd kind of go hunting. I've been looking for projects lately to do. I've been having some fun with Python, and after a cursory glance on GitHub, I found this really cool repo that allows you to use Python to essentially apply for jobs. Now, I know this might seem kind of slimy or maybe even against TOS. Your mileage may vary. I'm not saying I'm using this, but I wanted to share this with my LinkedIn friends here, just so that way everyone can kind of maybe get a leg up. I mean, let's be real. LinkedIn's been botted to oblivion. You see a job that was posted an hour ago, especially if it was remote, with an easy apply button, and it's got a couple hundred applications to it. So I'd say this is a little less insidious than maybe something like that. But it does allow you to quickly apply to jobs that, in an amount of time that would otherwise take you hours. So take that for what you will. But I wanted to share this video just because I really do think this could help some folks. So what I've found here is the auto job applier LinkedIn. And let's see here. Let me get zoomed in a little bit. Auto job applier LinkedIn. Yeah. So this is a GitHub repo, github.com/GodScion. And this guy put together this, I guess you could say, Python bot that automatically applies to jobs for you. Sort of straightforward in that. For me, this was really easy to install. If you're not really code savvy, maybe it might be a little bit of a struggle. I'm going to try to show you guys how to set this up, hopefully making it a little bit easier. He has a demo on his page, but I found that it was lacking maybe in some ways. Maybe you guys could check it out as well. But anyhow, what you'll need for this is Python 3 or above. Some of these packages: undetected Chrome driver, PyAuto GUI, and setup tools packages. You're going to want to install all three of these. Make sure that you have Google Chrome, of course, on your computer. Download this GitHub repo, and make sure that you've got that Chrome driver. So yeah, I'd show you how to install each one of these, but I think it really is straightforward. Your Chrome driver, PyAuto GUI, and setup tools. Each of these, you're gonna copy this and just paste it straight into your terminal. You'll hit enter and it'll execute. Copy, paste, enter, execute, copy, paste, enter, and it will execute. So really, really straightforward on that one. When it says clone the Git repo or download it as a zip file, you can just go ahead and clone it up here. You can go any which way of doing it. I just kind of copied it and was done with that. Yada, yada, yada. Some Windows stuff. Cool. So now we'll go ahead and hop into our VS Code environment. Okay, great. So now we're in VS Code. Right here you can see my coding projects that I've installed. I like to keep things organized in a file that I have all these kind of tinkery sort of Python projects. And make sure that you've got Python installed on your computer. You go to the extensions here in the marketplace. It's clearly installed for me, but you can install it straight through here. It should be everything you need. I'll also install the debugger and I believe this extension pack stuff. So once we go over into our coding project, it's going to be real easy to set up. We'll go to our config, click that, and you'll see all of these Py files. And Py files are Python files, pretty straightforward. Python's a really easy programming language. It's very much is what you see is what you get. In this personal section, you'll just go ahead and fill out your name and some personal details. I'm not going to go and necessarily show this full part of the file because there is some personal details that are relevant to me. I had to put these in order to test, but you know, I don't really want to dox myself or anything, but you'll be able to read. It just essentially tells you what to do. Here, I'll give you a better example for like questions. So if you don't know how these Python files work, anything with this hashtag is essentially zeroed out. It's not code, it's instruction. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at your Python. And another thing to keep in mind is that all Python files, or what you're telling it to do, the instructions are within these quotations. For this particular section, it's centered on questions. So for questions, they're all going to be highlighted with this sort of blue color here. And those are the questions that you see on a typical LinkedIn application. This way, when you open up LinkedIn or when you open up this Python script, it's going to automatically fill these fields in based on what you have input here. Not everybody might have a website. You might not have, well, you should have a LinkedIn, but for fields that you do not populate, you can also just keep it like that with nothing. But go ahead and answer as many of these as possible. One thing that you could do as well is if there's a lot of fields, if there's fields that are coming up in your applications frequently, you could always add an extra line here that denotes the field, and then copy the syntax so that way it's similar. Yeah, but literally, again, this is just pretty darn easy. It's very, what you see is what you get. What is your notice period in days? You put 14 in. Even if LinkedIn's denoted by 2 weeks, it can do the math there. Your headline in your LinkedIn, you'll put that there. Your summary in your LinkedIn, you'll put that there. And then you could consider putting in like a generic cover letter for companies that want a cover letter. I'd really suggest just writing your own tailored one if you come across one that needs it. But that's kind of what I've done here just to see how it would behave. Recent employer, confidence level should be pretty high. And then these settings, you kind of want to leave them at their default just because it's just going to make it run a lot smoother. I've played with them off and on, and I like the pause before submit just so that way you can review, and then the pause at failed questions really, obviously helpful as well, just because you can go back and review. These are your search parameters. So this is how, when you open the program, this is what it will search for your queries. It'll go through each one of these queries: digital marketing, marketing director, digital media manager, director of digital media, etc. And then I'll go down and look through your location. So it's going to try to be centered based on where you are, where you live. And then after X amount of applications, it's going to go ahead and switch to the next search parameter. I think 30 is a good number. It just depends on how deep your search terms are. I've got several. What are we going through? It's like 210 total for us to go through all this. And I'll touch on that in a little bit, but basically I have it set up in such a way that it times out on itself as well, just so that way you don't get flagged for actually, being a bot. Moving forward, you're going to go ahead and sort by most recent, and the date posted. I wouldn't go much more than past a week. Even if you weren't using this bot, I just wouldn't be searching for jobs past a week online, given the climate that we're already in. You might even want to go for just what was posted today, past 24 hours here. Salary, whatever you think you're worth. I'm surely worth more than that, but I'm trying to capture a range, so to speak. And then you're gonna look for your roles, right? So you're looking for full time. I would be looking for full time and remote and hybrid because I'm not trying to be in office every day personally. And then this is your filters. Skip irrelevant jobs. I kind of leave my filter ambiguous. One thing I wanted to cycle out is anything that had internship in there, but the criteria listed above really filters a lot of that for me. All right, so I just clicked into secrets. This is basically your login and password. You can program it in such a way that you can use OpenAI to reference your resume and sort of tailor it to certain job listings as well. So, that might be helpful, may not. For me, I like to keep it kind of standard anyways. I don't really have too much faith in what AI can do with my resume, especially when interfacing with another company that I'd like to be hired at. All right, and then here's your settings. I left a lot of this as static. Make sure that your directory is being routed to where it can reference your resume, especially within this here the system. So, like for here, I have it referencing my applied and failed, and then the default resume with the path that corresponds to it. And I'm trying to think of what else there is. After that, it's simple as that. This is the actual program. This is the work that had gone in. This is the actual programming that the developer had gone through to actually put this together. And for some folks, this kind of stuff may scare you. I don't know, but just think about it like this is just a regular old app or a program, but you're just kind of seeing the bones beneath. So anyways, once we've had this all set up, again, I think this has been really straightforward, but your mileage may vary. You're going to go ahead and click the Run Python button here. All right, and now we're off to the races. So it will ask you to authenticate once you are being signed in. You will get a button that pops up on your screen that says confirm login. You're not able to see that right now just because I'm sharing just this window. But after you confirm your login and everything, you're, like I said, you're off to the races. So it's, kind of no hands here, just showing you how we kind of programmatically move through these LinkedIn resumes. For instance, marketing director, I like to apply to that. Director of operations, that's relevant to my background. Sure, why not? And then, yeah, just keep cycling. So hopefully this tutorial was semi-instructive. I feel like if anybody's looking for more details, I'd be happy to open that up as well. I wanted to add one thing in case if anybody is struggling with their Mac installation. There is sometimes an SSL issue that you have to essentially fix, and you have to create your own SSL. I would look at, here you go, update your SSL certificate with pip. So you're going to want to plug this into your terminal. And after you plug this into your terminal, you're going to make sure that you press Command Space button to open Spotlight and then install the certificates command. So that's the only error that I had run into on this project. Granted, I don't think that's going to be the case for everyone, but just wanted to share that with anybody that may be hitting a wall in their Mac installation. All right, well, I just wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully this helps you with your job search. I know it's cutthroat out there. Again, I think LinkedIn's already been botted out, but I think this is sort of, quasi, I think this is ethically ambiguous enough to justify the means to at least get you to apply to as many jobs as quickly as you can without essentially like a headless bot doing all of it for you. There is still a decision making that happens here, and there is a reasonable approach to it. So let me know if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, and I appreciate y'all and your time.